So I'd like to talk a little bit about how we're going to structure section one of the research essay, the proposal essay. So first off, come down to the structure section of the prompt. And if you haven't already watched this video, make sure you watch it first. Otherwise, these different sections aren't going to quite make sense to you. So make sure it's just a couple of minutes long, watch that video, and then go ahead and come back into this video. So in section one, our goal in section one, the rhetorical goal in that section, is to make readers understand and care about the problem. So it's a really kind of pathos-driven section. I've given you a resource here to kind of help you structure that out. So let's take a look at that. So when we kind of think about establishing the problem, I want you to kind of think about these kind of guiding questions here. So how do you get readers to care about it? How do you get them to see the severity of the problem? And how to get them to see that this problem needs immediate attention? Maybe those last two are kind of combined somehow. So there's a couple of ways that you can do this. So you can kind of just answer some of those questions in individual topic sentence. So maybe you have one reason why readers should care and then a different reason why. So these would be claims, right? These would be topic sentences, and then you'd need to support and do all the axes or the test development for each one of these claims. Another reason, you can have a reason that kind of illustrates the severity of the problem, and then some reason why this problem needs immediate attention. So you're kind of answering these questions in kind of a taking one at a time kind of approach. You could have something a little bit different where you might have one reason why they should care, and maybe you've got a whole bunch of reasons on the severity of the problem. So it doesn't have to be your kind of approach to this doesn't have to match what I've put here as ideas directly, but this is just one way that you can develop it. You can answer these questions kind of individually. Maybe you have more on this idea of why we need to solve this problem today and not wait any longer. Maybe you have more ideas on the severity. Here I did two dedicated to getting people to care, and then one each for the other two questions. You might have a kind of a different kind of weighing of these questions, and you might decide that the question on the severity is more important and worth 2 or 3 body paragraphs instead of just one that I've given here. So that's one way that you could kind of think about developing this section. Remember, once we have these topic sentences, we still are going to kind of thinking about developing each one of those topic sentences. So you can use this kind of outline to kind of think about that. We'll just take a look at it. So if you do, the one reason why readers should care, you should have at least 2 pieces of support. Another reason why readers should care, at least 2 pieces of support. Reason why it illustrates the severity of the problem, 2 pieces of support. So each one of these topic sentences then gets kind of developed into a whole body paragraph. And remember, this outline here is just the planning stage of the outline. This is not what your paragraphs are just going to have these 3 sentences. But remember, this is just your support. And then for each one of those support, you'll have to explain, right? And then transition if you're kind of thinking about the set model or the test model, topic sentence. And then you've got some sort of evidence explanation, or the axes model. All of those models, and any one of those models could help you develop each one of these ideas. But at this point, this is just kind of your outline of what your claim is for each paragraph, and then how you're going to develop each one of those claims. So again, as we're kind of thinking about doing separate answers, that's one way to develop that section. Another way to develop that section is kind of what I'm going to call blended answers. And so in this situation, you might actually be kind of having what I'm calling topic sentence A and B here, so that these topic sentences are really closely connected to each other. So one reason why, got a little mistake there. One reason why readers should care, and then why that reason needs immediate attention. So you're kind of blending some of these questions, right? And kind of talking just about this reason for 2 paragraphs. And then we get into this reason and we talk about that for 2 paragraphs. So maybe in this scenario, you talk about the severity of the problem and then why we need immediate attention on that. So again, these are just ideas for how you can start to structure that section that you're creating there was section 1. And again, don't forget, your paragraphs don't just end with just the topic sentence and the support. We got to do the test or the axes or the set model for each one one of those claims that we come up with. This is just kind of the bird's eye high level view of the claim structure that we're thinking about. So I've also kind of created a little kind of outline here to kind of get you going. And so each one of these colors represents a different body paragraph. So I've got 4 different body paragraphs represented here. And when you're kind of brainstorming about that body paragraph, so what's your reason to get people to care about the problem or any of these other questions? And then what kind of evidence or examples, so you can start jotting that stuff down. And the other thing that this section should really do is really develop the pathos. So thinking about this early on, like how could you really develop the pathos in that section? Remember with the pathos, really good things to develop pathos. Of course, you're drawing upon emotion. Think about specifically what emotion. So maybe it's like destruction or loss, or the fact that future generations aren't going to be able to enjoy something or be able to experience something. So think about whatever that particular emotion is, and also remember those modes of development. So when you're thinking about modes of development, for one of the writing tools that I had out here on the prompt. So if you go down to the writing tools, so think about modes of development. So how could you kind of use kind of description or illustration, right? So those things are really, really powerful in getting your readers to really kind of get emotionally connected. Remember that essay that we read about Mac and the do not resuscitate orders? That author, Barbara Hutman, did a lot of description and illustration, and many people found that especially powerful. So you want to borrow those techniques when you're starting to develop this section. How are you going to really develop that pathos appeal? Okay, so that's all we're doing for right now is we're just writing section 1. That's what we're going to focus on. Get people to care about this problem, get them to see the severity of the problem, or get them to see that the problem needs immediate attention. Okay, you guys, that's it. Come and hang out in Zoom if you have questions. We'll talk soon.